Aristotle. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. The difference between a learned man and an ignorant one is the same as that between a living man and a corpse. Young people, have exalted notions because they have not been humbled by life or learned its necessary limitations. Moreover, their hopeful disposition makes them think themselves equal to great things, and that means having exalted notions. They would always rather do noble deeds than useful ones. Their lives are regulated more by moral feeling than by reasoning. All their mistakes are in the direction of doing things excessively and vehemently. They overdo everything. They love too much, hate too much, and the same with everything else. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. The antidote for 50 enemies is one friend. What you have to learn to do, you learn by doing. Friendship is a single soul dwelling in two bodies. The greatest thing by far is to be a master of metaphor. It is the one thing that cannot be learned from others, and it is also a sign of genius, since a good metaphor implies an intuitive perception of the similarity of the dissimilar. My best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. Whatever we learn to do, we learn by actually doing it. Men come to be builders, for instance, by building, and harp players by playing the harp. In the same way, by doing just acts we come to be just. By doing self-controlled acts, we come to be self-controlled. And by doing brave acts, we become brave. We are what we do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Man is a goal-seeking animal. His life only has meaning if he is reaching out and striving for his goals. At the intersection where your gifts, talents, and abilities meet a human need, therein you will discover your purpose. The proof that you know something is that you are able to teach it. The greatest of all pleasures is the pleasure of learning. Character is determined by choice, not opinion. One may go wrong in many different ways, but right only in one, which is why it is easy to fail and difficult to succeed. It is our choice of good or evil that determines our character, not our opinion about good or evil. Friends hold a mirror up to each other. Through that mirror, they can see each other in ways that would not otherwise be accessible to them. And it is this mirroring that helps them improve themselves as persons. Find the good. Seek the unity. Ignore the divisions among us. The intelligence consists not only in the knowledge, but also in the skill to apply the knowledge into practice. The man who is truly good and wise will bear with dignity whatever fortune sends, and will always make the best of his circumstances. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. Think as the wise men think, but talk like the simple people do. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, isn't just an act, but a habit, and life isn't just a series of events, but an ongoing process of self-definition. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. Virtue means doing the right thing, in relation to the right person, at the right time, to the right extent, in the right manner, and for the right purpose. Thus, to give money away is quite a simple task. But for the act to be virtuous, the donor must give to the right person, for the right purpose, in the right amount, in the right manner, and at the right time. The society that loses its grip on the past is in danger, for it produces men who know nothing but the present, and who are not aware that life had been, and could be, different from what it is. The tyrant, who in order to hold his power, suppresses every superiority, does away with good men, forbids education and light, controls every movement of the citizens, and, keeping them under a perpetual servitude, wants them to grow accustomed to baseness and cowardice, has his spies everywhere to listen to what is said in the meetings, and spreads dissension and calumny among the citizens and impoverishes them, is obliged to make war in order to keep his subjects occupied and impose on them permanent need of a chief. The more you know you don't know. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. When there is no middle class, and the poor greatly exceed in number, troubles arise, and the state soon comes to an end. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. He who has never learned to obey cannot be a good commander. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. Republics decline into democracies, and democracies degenerate into despotisms. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person, and to the right degree, and at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and is not easy. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Teenagers these days are out of control. They eat like pigs. They are disrespectful of adults. They interrupt and contradict their parents, and they terrorize their teachers. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind, next to honor. Happiness is a quality of the soul, not a function of one's material circumstances. The most important relationship we can all have is the one you have with yourself. The most important journey you can take is one of self-discovery. To know yourself, you must spend time with yourself. You must not be afraid to be alone. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Be a free thinker, and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny.
This was released from For the Sake of Education by Flow Wisdom. If the content was helpful, make sure to subscribe.